What's up, everybody? This is Dante with Body Up 360 Fitness and Health, and I'm so glad to be coming to you guys today as part of my Thursday therapeutic kickoff, which I will be doing for the next few weeks, detailing my injury, what I did to manage it, and how I overcame it and got right back into the gym relatively quickly. All right. Now, obviously, if this is something outside of a sprain or a strain, and even if it is, still go see your doctor. Obviously, you want to make sure that you take your best foot forward. I've experienced this before, and I've seen a doctor about it before. There were some things that I did to, like I said, overcome it and get right back into the gym. Now, 95% of my program is in the gym. However, there are certain workouts that I recently implemented. Oh man, it's so fantastic, and there's some things that you can do outside. And in my last live video I was demonstrating some body squats in combination with some pull-ups that you could do outside if you're at a park, especially on a beautiful day. Okay, so now the differences between a sprain and a strain. Okay, just real quickly, a sprain is a tissue that is connected to a joint, and it is something that you can injure in those between those two things. And if it mainly happens in the wrist, the thumb, the ankle, or the knee, okay. So anytime you injure any kind of tissue that's connected to a joint, mainly in those areas, that's what you're going to get. And then some of the symptoms you're going to get will be bruising, will be swelling, will be tenderness, and an inability to move that particular joint. Okay, so in regards to a strain, which is what I had, a strain is kind of like a overflex or a pulled muscle. It happens mainly when you're doing something, you can move it in a certain direction. It can even be taking a step off a curb and you move in a certain direction, or a certain plane of motion, and you injure yourself. So it's kind of just like I said, an overstretched or pulled muscle. What happens is there is a release of inflammation. There is sometimes a sharp or radiating pain, and there also could be bruising, swelling, or tenderness. Okay, so for me, and since it happened in my lower back, there was some sharp pain. There was a lot of release of inflammation to help to prevent further injury. And so what I did was I attacked it immediately with ice. I rested. I took an 800 milligram tablet, and some other things that I did was I would apply ice probably every 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, I want to say, for about 20 to 25 minutes. Some doctors recommend that you actually, you put the ice between 6 to 8 hours, or every 6 to 8 hours, and then you could put it on a towel and then apply it. Don't ever apply the ice directly to the skin. So I followed the RICE method, which is the rest, ice, compression, elevation, and also some things that I included in my diet, which were zinc, okay, omega-3 to help to reduce the inflammation, the vitamin C, and the protein. And then there were some other things and some fiber, some high fiber foods like oatmeal, some things to keep me fuller longer so that I wouldn't go through a series of weight gain, which is something that people do. So if you have an injury, or if you ever experience this, like a sprain or a strain, make sure you eat high fiber foods, especially if you're going to be at home or you're going to be resting for an extensive amount of time, 6 to 8 weeks or anything like that. Try to focus on eating high fiber foods, some things so that you can stay fuller longer and you're not eating a whole bunch of food, processed food, and where you're putting on weight, because then that would be counterproductive to your plan. All right. So if you guys can understand that, so I did that for, I say, probably about 2 to 3 weeks aggressively, and I was already back in the gym. All right, but I did take it slow. And then in another, I posted in my stories some exercises that you guys could do, depending on where this happens at. Where on your body this happens at. There may be certain things that you may not be able to do. But obviously increasing that blood circulation, getting up and moving around as much as you can. That's another thing that I did over those few weeks, to help me get back mobile. Also, which is very important, I always talk about this a lot, I performed a lot of different stretches, especially surrounding that. Since it happened in my lower back, I focused more on increasing my core strength, my stability and mobility. Okay. I did some other, so basically those other accessory muscles around my lower back, like my hips or my hip muscles, my core and my lower back, also my hamstrings. Okay. So depending on wherever the injury happened at, try to focus on strengthening the muscles around that particular injury. And then just taking your time, getting up, moving around, following the Rice method, the rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And attack it aggressively. If you guys get to it, as soon as you have an injury, immediately get to those healing methods. All right. So those are some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope you all are feeling great. And if you have any questions, remember you could always reach out to me and let me know. All right. I'll see you on the other side. And peace. Have a great Thursday.